Hey guys, what's up? I'm not going to be on camera today, just had a really long day, very tiring, but we are going to take a look at a Jordan Peterson video about overbearing mothers and how he relates it very interestingly to a South Park episode. So let's go ahead and check it out, shall we?
So the Oedipal situation, roughly speaking, is when, I'll lay out the classic story, is when a child is seriously overprotected, usually a male child by his mother. Now the reverse can be the case, and it can be a female child by the mother and all of that, but I'll just talk about the classic case to begin with. Now, what Freud observed was that there were usually not very good boundaries in families like that. And so the relationship between the husband and the wife was either strained or non-existent. And the wife would often turn to the child to be what she isn't getting from the husband. And so there's a great South Park episode about this. A wonderful South Park episode. And his mother brings in the dog whisperer to train him. And it's a brilliant episode. If you want to learn about the Freudian Oedipal situation, you watch that, you've got it down cold, because she brings in this expert who then she wants to have an affair with, so that's a boundary issue. And he basically separates her son from him and imposes the same discipline on him that he would impose on a bad dog. Although he also trains the dog's owners all the time, because maybe it's not the dog. Anyways, what happens in the South Park episode is that the dog whisperer gets Cartman, straightened out. And he starts like dressing properly and doing his homework, and the mother is pursuing an affair with the dog whisperer, but he's professional. He keeps his distance, like he keeps boundaries around him. And then he leaves, and then the first thing that she does when he leaves is bribe Cartman basically out of doing his homework so that he can accompany her to, I don't know, a fast food restaurant or something like that. And so the reason she does that is because she's lonesome and doesn't have anybody else around, and you know, maybe she's also deeply, deeply, deeply terrified that if she helps that boy grow up, he will leave and she'll have nothing. You know, and so mothers who don't have something, say, outside their infants, not merely their children, are more likely to fall into that. And it's no wonder, you know, you got to think that through. And lots of women really, most women, really fall in love with their babies, you know. And so even if they start growing into larger children, that can be threatening, because, well, when the infant turns into a toddler, the infant is dead.
Yes, you guys, I can agree with that so much. Like, I am literally in that transition right now where it's like, I no longer have that baby. She's a toddler now. And she's at that age where I need to start potty training her and getting her ready to go to school. And she's going to have to be separated from family and going into strangers, you know, for a while until she gets used to them and, you know, they become everyday folks too. But it's like, I swear it's also scary, and it's also hard to transition because you love your baby so much. You have to realize though that you have to let them go and let them grow, because you don't want them to be babies forever.
The toddler is there now, and you can radically interfere with that process. That happens all the time, all the time. That's the classic Freudian Oedipal nightmare. And that episode is brilliant. It's bloody brilliant. It just nails it. And so I knew this guy once who had a mother who basically was trying that trick, and she was very smart and had lots of tricks up her sleeves, and there's just no way he was going to go for it. He rebelled at every possible moment, and he basically became, I would say, somewhat hyper-masculine in response, which is an interesting lesson with regards to the hyper-masculinity that boys often develop if they're raised by single mothers, because they tend to go one of two ways. And he just fought her at every step of the way, and it didn't happen. But one of the things Jung said, which I loved, and you can really see this in the Crumb documentary, is that the Oedipal mother basically entices the child. Says, look, here's the deal. You don't have to do anything, but you don't get to leave.
You know what? I can't actually say that I know a lot of women that fall under this category, but what I can say is that it's definitely a behavior that all women need to resist. We may love our children and we may want the best for them, but the last thing you want to do is create a child that's going to essentially be a big softie, or somebody that's going to go overboard with the masculinity and be a reckless man to society, aka thugs, gangsters, dudes that are basically committing crimes and killing each other.
But if you don't leave and you don't do these difficult things, then I'll take care of you. And the child has a choice all the way along there. I mean, obviously, he's outclassed in some sense, but it's not as obvious as you'd think. Little kids are tough, and they make decisions all the time. And if you deal with someone like that as an adult, and they're trying to escape from it, you have to go all the way back and figure out how the hell it happened. And then they have to adjust. They have to figure out where they opened the door, like inviting a vampire in, because they can't come in unless you invite them in, you know. You get everything you want, and you don't have to do anything. Jeez, what a deal. It's a great thing for infants, but for adult males, it is the wrong approach. And so you will get taken advantage of continually by people who are looking for someone like you until you grow some teeth and put it on so you can use it. You're going to...
Babying our kids too much, it's time to stop as early as now. And if you're an adult who is babied by your mother, your best bet is to go ahead and start showing your teeth. Or stop showing them so much if you went with the hypermasculinity thing. Either way, it's not a natural thing for a mother to love her son too much or any of her children. So we have to be careful.